Hello, everyone. Satyanga the Astrology here. And I am back with this video about the 2022 Spring Equinox. I have a lot to tell you about it. And I guess I'm going to find my earpieces here. So, yeah, I have a lot to speak about. So those of you who don't like long videos, you can skip it or you can watch it in installments. Anyways, but I think it's information that can actually help you. So that's why I venture on it. So I have been not writing or making videos lately because I have Saturn transiting my 6th house and opposing all my planets on the 12th house, and it's been rough in the health department, and lots of work and efforts, you know, that sometimes don't bring immediate. Saturn delays, so immediate results. Usually what happens with Saturn in the 6th house is that it delays healing, and it takes a long time and takes a lot of effort and investment on it. So, but I've been studying and brewing those ideas. Nobody is ignoring what is going on the world sphere. But I think I have important information to share with you, and I will start with an interesting introduction here. So if you like my videos, I would appreciate if you subscribe, if you like, give it a thumbs up, and you share my videos and my ideas with other people. So here is my contact information, where you can email me or read what I have written so far. I am in social media as well. So I will start by telling you my story. And it is that the other day, 2 days ago, I was listening on radio to Terry Gross interviewing Mary Elise Sarot. She is a professor, author of the book Not 1 Inch. So, and well, the interview went on and explaining historical, let's say, evolution of the conflict that is affecting Ukraine. So the conflict between East and West that I have announced since we started speaking about Saturn conjunction with Pluto in Capricorn. If you read and watch my videos, I have said that this is about the rising and falling of empires, and fighting the East against the West, or the West against the East. So it's this polarity that has been at play since time immemorial. So this is nothing that is new. We as humanity have been polarized in this way since, I don't know, we don't remember the start of it. So it has taken one form or another, right? So this interview was pretty stunning because this lady who has researched and not only interviewed key people in the history, but also she has had access to unclassified, previously classified information with pretty gruesome details about the president of this country that is invading Ukraine. I would like to avoid naming that person, but you don't need me to do it anyways. So that night, I went to bed very worried about this thing. And so I woke up early, very early in the morning with this dream where I was with that man. And he was washing a baby, a newborn baby. He was washing the baby in a tub, and it was a very healthy baby. And it was not a small baby either, but the interesting thing is that this man, this president of Russia, was dressed very formally, like he would in a public presentation, right? And he was washing this baby. It was bubbles and soap, and he was very careful and very focused on washing that baby. And then I was apparently I was there trying to have him come to his senses and talking about this invasion, right? That people were dying, innocent people were dying, and all the problems that it was. So I was trying to make him come to his senses, and he almost obviously completely ignored me. But at one point he turned his face to me and he looked at me like those hypnotizing eyes with there was a hypnotizing, like, laser eyes that were shiny, and I was all shrinking my emotional body, and he didn't say much, but his look, it was like, you will see what happened, like a threat to me. And I was so afraid that I turned around and I walked away, but he kept washing that newborn baby. So I was disturbed by that. And it was not until later in the day that ideas came with Uranus square, Mercury squaring Uranus. No, I think it was Mercury was already in Pisces. Anyways, but this awareness of things that are not seen, right? And I came to the realization that he has erected himself as this master. He has Pluto on the midheaven, and he's master of life and death. Like that, he has he considers himself like the structure and the creator of something new, right? And I was looking at the zodiac. I have talked before about this being the transits are all squished in the last quadrant of the zodiac, and they are now approaching the sign of Pisces. All of them will go through Pisces before entering Eris, and it's like they're all piled there, and it's a huge concentration of energy in the Pisces area, and previously, in the Aquarius sign, but those two last are the end of the zodiac. And I have previously talked about this end of the world as we know it, right? The end of things as we know them. So this war may be just the end of an era, and the way to give birth to something new, right? Because I think with this war, people started waking up to the fact that we are never going back to the normal, right? And waking up in ways that are very drastic and dramatic. And I think that we now realize that we urgently have to change our ways in a very speedy way. We need to consider that this war is the end of globalism. And I will explain with the chart, I will explain what I mean by that. It is very obvious that things cannot go as normal ever again. That this is like destroying everything, and I'm not meaning just that destruction that is going on in Ukraine, but if you think about it, how many things are like a domino falling because of this war, right? And it's mainly the economic situation, the financial situation. So the powers that be are in are collapsing, are completely collapsing. So, and if you remember, the war just started 2 days after, at the perfect conjunction of Venus, Mars, and Pluto at the USA Pluto return. So meaning that both nodes, the ruler of the North Node, Venus, the traditional ruler, and the modern ruler of the South Node were together in Capricorn, like, right? In complete agreement to destroy. And this axis of the Taurus and Scorpio nodes of the moon, we all know that it's karmic, but it's all about energy and power, right? The power of having the autonomy in Taurus to dispose of the resources that we need for survival, right? Taurus is in charge of the survival of that baby born in Eris, right? So Taurus provides the food, the resources, the maintenance, the energy, and the power to maintain the life of that baby. So in Scorpio is the power that we share with others in order to help that survival. So Taurus is independent, it does it on its own, but Mercury, Scorpio joins forces with others. So this has been happening in the globalization. We depend on other markets far away from our nations, right? We depend on China to send us merchandise, to manufacture merchandise. And right now, for example, I heard also in NPR, the marketplace, saying about the car industry problem that parts that were manufactured in Ukraine and Russia are now stalled. And there was an earthquake in Japan, and other pieces that come from Japan are not able to come. And China also had a lockdown of millions and millions of people working in manufacture, and that will also delay the distribution of services and no services, goods, in this case about the car industry, but so many other things that we depended on others that don't seem to be friendly, right? And right now, at least, and now we are left with the Taurus, that we are forced to go towards the independence and autonomy of Taurus, producing what is needed, the goods, the resources, and producing the energy that we need for survival, right? So globalization is out, is over. So we are now closing this cycle of globalization that started in 1988 with the conjunction of Uranus and Saturn at the end of Sagittarius. Remember, I've talked extensively about that. We are now closing that cycle. Is the last quarter square between Saturn and Uranus, and Saturn is saying, well, it's good that that we benefited for so much innovation, right, during this, and collaboration, Scorpio, right? Collaboration and dependence, interdependence or codependence is very good, but now we need to select, separate, right, what is useful and viable for the future and what is not. And Uranus still is creating those collapses in nature, and yeah, especially in nature, and those unexpected upheavals about resources and material reality that forces us to change direction. And we'll see the chart now. I will share with you the chart of the equinox because it's revealing so many things. First of all, we have the Saturn here, 20 degrees approaching the square to the nodes, and it's very close to square the nodes. Pretty soon both are coming towards each other, so we will see them pretty soon. I think by the beginning of April or middle of April. So we'll see that square. And what the Saturn square the nodes is about, those struggles, right? Those blocks and difficulties and delays and more effort that we need to put in order to keep this balance, Scorpio, Taurus, right? Keep this balance of sharing the energy, sharing the power, right? And becoming autonomous. And I think it's, since it's traveling to the North Node, is leaving behind Saturn, right? The structures, is leaving behind this codependence that we had during globalization. So Saturn is demanding step by step, and also it is demanding more strength and commitment to do that. And Saturn in Aquarius provide the network organization and definition of society, right? And structures of society that will help with the change of direction, because usually I don't consider the aspects to the nodal axis except for the square and the conjunctions, because those are crucial points. The other ones are not so let's say, remarkable. However, they do have some effect, but squares especially are changes of direction. We are leaving behind the south node, right? And we are pushed to the north node. And moreover, all the planets are, except for the moon and the full moon and this equinox point, but they're all between the south node and the north node. So it's packed there. I just printed out this some ideas about this configuration that in Indian astrology they call Kalsarpa yoga. So it's I have mentioned this before in the series for Pluto return in the US. So let me have a drink so I can keep speaking. So it is a stressful configuration. First of all, it disturbs the human mind very much. So it can cause madness, and I think it's obvious. And not only at the world level, but I've seen around me and speaking with people, I see this tendency to derangement. I'm not sure what it's all about. My theory as a Virgo rising is that food and the bad habits of feeding ourselves are causing this, because we are not eating properly, and many people because they don't have the resources, other people because they're ignorant. So I think this madness has also to do with the way we feed ourselves. And then we see this Uranus can also be madness, right, in Taurus about feeding. So it also brings viral diseases, much confusion, and animal death, chaos, confusion. And I'm talking about Kalsarpa yoga, which is all the planets and one hemisphere between the nodes of the moon. So as I said, it's karmic. There's nothing that we can do. It's kind of out of our hands, right? Karmic means that it is consequence of previous actions, right? And it might not be personal actions. It might be just the collective actions. There is also the tendency to get involved in unwanted and unnecessary conflicts and fights and wars. So there is also political earthquakes and problems getting agreements, right? There's a lot of energy on one side of the nodes, so it gives this focus on just one thing, and it's difficult to see in depth and perspective. So it also talks about disputes with business partners, as we see at the global level. Lower success rate in business and many business failures. And we have seen, since we have this configuration on and off since 2020, and we've seen how business failures have caused many small business to close, others to open and then close. So this instability, it's also in the matter of health. It affects with chronic problems and ailments that take a long time to heal, and also problems in progeny because of natural calamities. So it is, I will explain as well with nature, how nature is affected. So there is a family unrest and disputes among family members. We've seen the polarized people so much that sometimes there's fights within families, right? And there's a general economic instability, economic downturn, depression, inflation, and all that we have seen. So this Kalsarpa yoga has lasted for almost 2 years, on and off. As I said, the moon has come out every month, of course, but half of the month it is in between and the moon represents the people. So every time it is outside the nodes of the moon on the other side, it's aspecting by opposition or many other aspects to all of them in a way, in a successive way that doesn't leave us with an emotional respite, right? It's one after the other, one after the other. And then when it comes back to the other side, it joins one planet after the other, one planet after the other. There is no rest in between. So emotionally, we have been wrecked. I mean, collectively, right? So let me go to the chart now, because I want to point out to some things that are very important. Here we have the zero degree, sun, right, entering the Eris sign, and is in the Decan of Mars, right? The sun is in the Decan of Mars and the term of Jupiter. So it is a Martian, an inflated Martian sun. So what that means is that this year is more probably be increasing in conflicts, and I don't think this conflict will end soon. It might stall, like at a point where there is this friction, but no side will win over the other for a long time, and they're fighting and fighting and fighting until they get tired. But let me show you something else, because Mercury is in the Decan, in the term, let's see, Mercury is in the term of, this is Mercury on the term of Jupiter and the Decan of the moon. But look at Jupiter, no, Neptune. Neptune is in the term of Mars and the Decan of Pluto. So here we have a Neptune all that you may think, oh, Neptune with Jupiter in Pisces is so spiritual and so blissful. Well, wait a minute, we have a Neptune in the Decan of Pluto and in the term of Mars. So this Neptune is like globalizing and universalizing the conflict, and this anger, this thirst for power and control, right? It's expanding it to the universal realm. So this is crazy. We also have Saturn in the term of Mars here with Venus. So another planet in Mars, with Mars influence. We have Venus. Let's see. Venus is here. Venus is conjunct Mars, right? Separating, but anyways, it's been there for a long time, and Mars rules the sun. So, and let's see, Pluto is also in the term of Mars. And let's see, I think I put the wrong terms, but anyways, it shows Jupiter is with Mercury and the moon, and yeah, and Mercury is, as I said, with Jupiter and the moon. So see, this moon at the end of Libra is on the term of Mars, and 11 minutes after, and I will show you, I will switch to the, I wanted to show you that chart because my software doesn't show the terms, but here it is, the chart for, let me make it bigger so you can see it full screen. So here it is, here it is, the moon at the exact time of the equinox is conjunct Haumea, and 11 minutes after it enters Scorpio, and it's a perfect quincunx with the sun entering Eris. So I think this is very important for several reasons. One of them is the square to Pluto. The quincunx, of course, is ruled by Pluto because it is a 210 degrees quincunx, and is a crisis quincunx. So we see a moon that is that needs adjusting to the sun, people that needs to adjust and switch behaviors according to authorities. But we also have the square to Pluto in a sign ruled by Pluto, where the south node of the moon is located. It's not close, but it's the same sign. And it's also a moon that is a suffering moon because it's not at home in Taurus, it's opposite. So I don't want to say that is a fall, a moon in fall, because it's not so precise of a definition. I think it's a moon that is, it needs a, that is suffering, right? It's a moon that this moon in, let me go to my notes about this 210 degree quincunx, because if you're not familiar with quincunx, there is a book from Epstein, Alan Epstein, called In Conjuncts. And I took these notes from that book. It's a moon that is transitioning, 11 minutes after the equinox, exact equinox. It's transitioning from the peace, the harmony, the diplomatic sign of Libra into the critical upheaval and oppressing and secretive and very critical sign of Scorpio, right? So it is a moon that would have liked to be comfortable, but now it is highly uncomfortable. So, and this talks about people, how people are, it is a crisis of power and control, right? That's Scorpio, power, control. It is a crisis. It is, and according to Epstein, it calls about this moon represents people who try to please other in order not to be not to suffer disapproval, but at the same time is judgmental. It's a moon of people who point fingers, who are as well as supporting those who suffer in the crisis. But it's a moon that swings emotions back and forth and deep and down and up and down. It's so we can count as this is the start of the calendar, not the calendar, the zodiac year is a new year. We can count the whole year having those emotions and criticals and upheavals, emotional upheavals all year long. And there is also emotional inhibition or emotional overpowering, right? It's difficult accepting the feelings, the deep feelings that we will have. There is intolerance, criticism, over suspicion, Scorpio, betrayal, and many hidden things, self-justification in order to obtain acceptance. And remember, this Russian president has the ascendant on Scorpio. Now remember the exact degree, but the south node is coming, so it's not looking any good for him. But there is this paternalism, the sun, in order to obtain approval, right? And we hear news and information here in the West about how terrible things are, which they are, but in order to help the public opinion to support the decisions that they make, meaning to gain approval, right? I am a pacifist. I am not for hate or war in any way or with any at all. So I think that humans should be mature enough and in order to have the use of their reason and make agreements. I know that international agreements may be complex. Yes, it is. But I think the main problem is here that those authorities are trying to defend and protect their own interests and not looking for the benefit of the world or the benefit of human beings in general. They're just protecting interests that were previously made, and they are very profitable. And in doing so, they are just going down, destroying themselves and everybody else. So that's Pluto and Capricorn. We have assumed that by now, since 2008, we already know that they are imploding, they are self-destroying themselves. So this square is marking the emotional consequence of that, but there's a struggle against social conditionings, and the public is, of course, in fear of disapproval. Whatever you think, you will be afraid of exposing it truthfully because of the consequences. And we see that exacerbated, of course, in the east part of the world, where you can get in jail for years if you dare to defy the official opinion, right? And there was a lady who showed a sign behind the newscaster in the most important chain information in Russia, and she is really now risking years in prison. But so far, not yet, but we'll see what the developments are. However, there are thousands of people who have been arrested and jailed because of their protests. So there is a moon who is representing or associated with power struggles, right? Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, and traditionally by Mars, right? So we see Mars in the sign of society, of the collective consciousness. So we see this moon ruled by these planets that are doing very tough work in those signs. So the moon is the psyche, and at the personal level, the sun is your core essence. So they are out of sync. So the moon goes to the underworld in Scorpio, and there's deep suffering, and the shadows of the psyche are coming up. So remember also that it is a moon that is struggling with to keep power and control of their emotions. And there is something else that is operating here. We see Black Moon Lilith at 27 in Gemini. She in Gemini represents the shadow of rejection, the shadow of acceptance, which implies a fear of rejection. According to Laura Walker book on Lilith. So it is about whether others approve, or it's a Black Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, that is could be people pleaser because she doesn't want to be rejected. And it's like walking on eggshells, right? Both the Black Moon and the moon is like, okay, I don't want to disturb too much. I feel terrible inside, but I can suppress it, so to keep in control. Or the other way, it will be because of the Quincunx. It will be I explode, right? And then I am disapproved, or I am persecuted, or I am chastised, or I am punished because of the outburst of the emotions, and because I say my true feelings and my. So I hope you understand my rant about this moon quincunx, the sun. And I think it's very important in our personal lives to understand that that this is operating in our daily lives. So she is right at the entrance of the sun. She is conjunct Haumea, and Haumea is in Pluto is in square to Haumea. It's been for some time already, and also square to Eris. So this Pluto here, it is like a block, a defiance, right? An obstacle to Haumea and Eris. So let's start with Haumea. She is the goddess of the creator in the culture in the islands of the Pacific. So she is the one that gives birth to from her body, right? It represents the earth giving life abundantly and freely, right? And we see how this Pluto, this power of the establishment and institutions is blocking, destroying the earth and destroying the power of the earth to regenerate. And it's also destroying the identity of human life, right? Because all the actions that are being taken by corporations, by governmental institutions, have been in detriment of our human existence, right? Healthcare is governed by money, is not governed by a principle of helping life. You see people taking tons of medicines just to maintain, to sustain the pharmaceutical industry. And those medicines just are keeping people in vegetative states where they can only be there and take medicine and just survive, sustain life, just because. So, and there is this damage to our identity, our the initiation of life as well. And Eris was the goddess of discord, the goddess that she was not appreciated because of who she was or how she looked on, or she was rejected or not accepted to the banquet of the gods. And you know what it means, right? People who are different, who are not exactly cut by the mold, right? They are seen as a nuisance, and almost that they are not human beings because they are just a different color or a different form, or they think different, or they have a gender tendency or inclination that is not exactly what the establishment determines that should be. So, and that is Eris in Aries. And Eris in Aries spends the most time in that sign of the whole orbit. She spends more than 100 years there, and her whole orbit is 500 years. So you calculate and you see that she spends, everyone on Earth right now has Eris and Aries. So, and it's very significant that we have Chiron also transiting right now on Aries. I wrote an article about the pandemic and the association of the pandemic with Chiron in Aries. So, whew, let me take another drink of my tea, green tea, by the way. Is a very good anti-inflammatory. So, and that's not the only aspects. Of course, there are, and I will tell you which ones. So this moon is calling for the public stand to the authorities, the sun, right? That, yeah, we have a fear of rejection and being judged and being incarcerated, but it calls for strength, right? Especially in square to Pluto. So, as I said, Mars and Venus have been instrumental because in conjunction with Pluto, it was the day of the invasion of Ukraine. But keep in mind that by the 3rd of by the 19th of March, which is today, I'm recording this on Saturday, March 19. So today, Venus will be in square to Uranus. So this is, again, very important. Venus rules Taurus and also rules the North Node and also rules Uranus. So this square with Uranus is, I don't know what is going on today. We will learn tomorrow probably, but it's all about the resources, finances, relationships as well, and the peace, right? Venus is harmony and peace and accords and agreements and also the economy, right? And I hope you have clear that this war is about not only boundaries, but it's also about resources, right? And about territory and the right to dispose the resources that land has. So it is economic, like all the wars that have been happening. Yeah, there is a component of economy. So okay, so this sun then I think I spoke about that in the previous video that was about the full moon in Virgo, right? So let's talk about now Mercury conjunct Jupiter in Pisces. So these are news that concern the whole world, right? And the whole collective. So by tomorrow, I think in the whole year, as I said, because this is the beginning, the first of the year, the astrological year, we will have those news that concern the whole world. And they are spread globally as well. And our mind will be focused on things that affect everybody. So, and these again, Mercury and Jupiter are the rulers of the previous lunar axis. And if you remember, these the last Sagittarius eclipse was a solar eclipse at 12 Sagittarius, right? And we have the practical mind with a higher perspective mind. They are working together. So we are at the same time practically affected by the developments that are global. So our mind will be dealing in thinking about how to practically solve or spiritually solving problems that are global, that are, as I said, out of our personal control. So remember that Pisces dissolves, expands, but what does it expand? The dissolution, the increases the destruction of boundaries. And one thing that I already mentioned before as well in the Pluto return for the United States series that I did about 6 or 7 videos, is that the conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune that is already started, is just 5 degrees apart. So it is already operative. In 1856 was about borders as well. In the United States, there was the Mexico-Texas war. That resulted in the annexation of Texas to the United States. although with an original defeat. And I've talked about that also in a video that I made with Jose Millán. It's called, I will put the link in the description below, but it's called A Peek into the Future. And we spoke about this event, but there is also in 1856, between 54 and 56, where Jupiter and Neptune had the conjunction as well in Pisces. It was the end or the Crimean War, by which Russia lost Crimea to the coalition of the West, including Turkey, which is in the middle. So the Ottoman Empire and France and Germany, I think. So it was at that time that Russia lost Crimea. So, and it was a treaty. I will talk more about with another video that I will make about Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. But anyways, the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction could be, again, about borders and about the dissolution or the displacement of borders. Remember those wars, and they are the result of wars, as I said, in 1856. I've explored previous Jupiter-Neptune conjunctions in Pisces. However, I couldn't find much information handy. You know, I should have dug deeply, but I don't have the way to do it right now. Anyways, but it's about, as I said, dissolution. And wait until, I mean, whatever happens now on Sunday, the March 20, 2022, with the ingress of the sun in Eris, it's also precluding the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune, which will be at 0 degree Aries in 2026 or 5, let's see, 2025 or 26. I don't remember the exact date, but Saturn and Neptune will conjoin at 0 degree Aries. And that will be the start of no boundaries, right? It will be a new kind of world that we, very different from what I know, what we know right now. And we will have pretty soon Mars also square Uranus, right? And sextile Chiron, which talks to me that this is creating a social upheaval, if not revolution, that will break identities, and it will break the human existence in a very important way. So, I mean, this Mars square Uranus is explosive. I mean, it's been shown in earthquakes times, also wars, explosions, and cataclysms and natural catastrophes. So, and that's not all, because the Mars Saturn conjunction is coming up, square the Nodal Axis, and that will be significant. So let me see if I find the date for this, because I didn't note it here, but I have a list of important. So Mars square Uranus is March 22nd, which is on Tuesday at 12 degrees 26. And then you can expect very important conflicts flaring up. So we have Venus squaring Uranus today. And then we have Saturn will be in April, squaring the nodes. And Mars, let's see, Mars conjunct Saturn at 22-24, April 4. So pretty soon, I mean, the second part of March and April with the eclipse and all that, and the Eris new moon will be pretty painful. Sorry to tell you that. But also Mars and Venus are quintile. You see here very light quintile to Eris. So whatever Venus and Mars are doing here is affecting our affecting those who are left out, you know, who are disenfranchised because of their differences. So, and it also exposes the discord, reclaims, Eris will reclaim her dues, and what has been hers. So also we have a trine to Makemake. Makemake is here, and is trining Mars. See, it is already, Mars is trining Makemake. And this is the one who brings the prize and the crowning of the leader, right? And in the Rapa Nui culture, Makemake was the this birdman that will go and in a very risky course will get the first egg of the bird that came in spring, early spring. So the one who won that egg will bring it to the future leader for that year. And that leader would spend in solitude the whole year, right? And that birdman, it was just the instrument. And so Makemake represents that risk that is taken in order to obtain the prize and in order to erect the new leader. So Mars is reflecting this, in trine is reflecting this power, that there might be a new leader coming up to defend, let's say, the spiritual principles. And Makemake in Libra is all about peace and harmony and agreements. So it is the head of a spiritual government, not a material government. So as I said, and I will, I think I will wrap up this I will wrap up this video now because it's been kind of a long one. Coming back to the next one, I will speak about the Eris new moon. Let me come to exit full screen and then come to this Eris new moon. I'm not going to speak about it, but I'm going to show you the chart so you can appreciate that the new moon will happen not only with Mercury, but also with Chiron, Pallas Athene, and its opposite, Makemake. So and we will have Saturn exactly, almost exactly squaring the nodes of the moon. So again, conjunct with Juno, the faithful Juno. So let me stop the share and say that this year, as I showed you, many planets are under the influence of Mars, which is the warrior. So we will be fighting and solving conflicts all year long in our personal lives. Look at the houses where these planets are transiting for you. And there you will see how you will be fighting and struggling as well. Especially Aquarius, where Saturn is, you are struggling and there are delays in your success there, as I explained at the beginning with my health. So it could be chronic problems in that house of Aquarius. If you are Aquarius rising, it will be very significant for you. If Aquarius is your any of the angle houses, like the 4th, the 1, the 7, the 10th, it is very significant for you. Of course, if you are a fixed sign, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio, then you will have challenges to go through, certainly. This is the year of the fixed signs. So expect this conflict to last, and not forever, but at least for this year. And there will be comings and goings, and things will come to a head at some points. There is this square between Saturn and Uranus again in October, November, end of October, November, where there will be just shy of the perfect square for a few minutes, like I think 30-40 minutes. So it's going to be a challenging year. We already knew it, right? And I already explained that in previous videos. But I just wanted to give you that information about the equinox. I'm just checking to see if there is something important that I was leaving out. Okay, the date of Saturn and Neptune at 0 degree conjunction in Eris, it's 2025. I don't have the month or the date. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. So great. And a great astrology day, right, is the astrology day celebration. I hope you participate in conferences and share astrology with your friends, and you subscribe to my channel, and give me thumbs up if you like it. Send me emails and comment. I appreciate you very much. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye.